Hello everyone, my name is David, and in this video we are going to learn how to interact with APIs without leaving VS Code. Now VS Code has a great extension, and that extension is called the REST client. If you click it, you see the information here. The REST client allows you to send HTTP request and view the response in VS Code directly. Many features are here. Basically, you can read about all of it here, see examples, so on and so forth. You can see the changelog. The last update, I think, was on August 19th, 2022. To get this extension, you just go to extensions, then put in REST client and look for this one, which is made by our Chao Mao. I think that's how they read the name. I'm not really sure. But you can also go to Google, put in VS Code REST client, and the first one that appears is most likely that. You can see the author here. You can see the installs, and you can see more information about it. So how can we use it? We are going to play around with this JSON placeholder type code. And I suggest as you're watching this, try as much as possible to practice. Don't just watch. You know, the more you practice, the more you get better at something. So this JSON type code has posts, comments, albums, and so on that we can use to learn how to use APIs. So we are going to start with getting posts. Wait a moment, I need to get the URL, which is most likely this, and I'll go in VS Code. Now, to use the REST client, you have to create a file with a certain extension. I'm gonna click File, Add Folder to Workspace. Then I'll go over my desktop and I will create a new folder and call it API REST Client Tutorial. Then I'll create and click Add. Then inside this directory, I'll create a file and I'm gonna call it JSON type code .rest. So the extension of your file should be REST, and I'll create that file. Now to this file, I'll start adding my API calls. So I'll write a comment and I'll say get posts. Then here I'll write an HTTP method, which is get, and I'll paste the URL, then the endpoint. So we want posts. I'll click send and we see what happens. You see, HTTP response 200, okay. And here are the posts, the different posts. How can we add on headers and other things? For example, if we want the content type to be JSON, to specify, we can just say content type application JSON. You see a lot of options are here. So, but we want JSON, and still we can send a request, and yeah. Then if we can also do the accept, you know, and we can still say application JSON. So, and it will still work. You see that? Let's look at another endpoint from JSON type code. So we are going to try to get a single post, and the way we get it is the endpoint is posts / the ID. So we can go back to VS Code and then can copy all of this and duplicate it. And you see that here between these API requests, we do not have a send option. So to get the send option, we have to write a comment and say get a post with ID 3. Okay. Now we can go here and add a / and put 3. Then we can click the send. And you can see that we've got a post of ID 3. Next, let's look at how to post content to the API. So we can go back to VS Code and I'll copy all of this and go down here and then change this to post. How can I specify the content that I want to send? So I can see here that if I make an API request to get a single post, I get the user ID, I get the ID, the title, and the body. So all I'll do is I'll put curly brackets here and I'll specify the user ID as 1, comma. Then do I have to specify the ID? I'll leave the ID. I think JSON type code will generate the ID. And here I will say coding tutorial. Okay, I'll say free coding tutorials with or by David Wampamba. Then I will go ahead and say body, learn coding by subscribing to my channel, which is https youtube.com/ David of UG. So I'll just stop there and test this out. But you can see we can't send until when we tell this REST client what we want to do. So any comment you put, for as long as you put these 3 pound or hash symbols, it will show you the send. So for me, I'll say create a post. Then I'll click send request. And we have a 201 HTTP response and with a created status. So we can go over here and they will show us that the ID is 101 and the user ID is 1. You see that? So now let's see indeed if we have this. So I'll change 3 to 101 and click send and not found, because I think it's not persisted. It is just created in memory. But that's how you can send data to the API via the REST client. Now, how do you add other things like authorization tokens, so on and so forth? So it's very easy. You just that JSON type code. Let me check. I'm not sure if it has an option where you can send authorization requests. It doesn't, but I believe I have something which can help us. I can go over here and click add file, add folder. There's another folder that API playground. Can add it here. It has some things like, yeah, like here, you see, if you want to send the authorization, you can just say authorization and you add the bearer token. As simple as that, it will work. So this thing really helps a lot. Now, let's take a look at how we can delete or update something. So what we are going to do is go back to the JSON type code, and you can see that if you want to update, you use the put method, and then you specify the ID that you are updating. So we are going to update the first post, and let's see. Let's go back to JSON, and now here shall write update post 1. So we can copy all of this and paste and put /1. Then we change this to put, and we can say, we can leave this user ID. All we want is to update post 1 with this information. You can go ahead and make the API request, and you see it says okay, and it shows you that this post has been updated. So if it has, I don't know if it has persisted, but if it has persisted, if we get post with ID 1, it should show us, okay, it has not persisted, but it has shown you. I mean, JSON type code is a public API, so I believe it cannot allow you to permanently change its content. But that's how you update. And to delete, you've seen that to delete, we just have to to specify the HTTP method, which is delete, together with the right endpoint, and we can go ahead and do that. So I will just get this, get that, and I'll say delete post 1. So here I'll write the method delete and go ahead and send the request. And you can say it says okay, and it has not returned anything. So that means this post has been deleted. And the responses we get in the REST client, you can see that they have quite some wonderful information, like it shows us the content type, the date we've made the request, the content length, the connection, the reply to. You can see that group Heroku. So this means that JSON type code is most probably hosted on Heroku. You can see X powered by Express. So JSON type code was made in Express. That's wonderful. The rate limit, so on and so forth. So I hope this has helped you get started with the REST client and make your life easy. See you in the next video.